Hello, my name is Adrian Saul. Keeping reptiles as pets has become very common around Australia, even more so after the last few years. Whenever I perform my snake shows, I quite often get asked where you can buy reptiles or questions on how to look after them. So join me now and I'll cover some basic points on keeping snakes as pets. This video is a guide for anyone that is interested in keeping a snake as a pet. Snakes make an ideal pet because most of them are low maintenance, but with any new pet there are a few things you need to learn before you get started. To own a snake in Australia, most states require that you have a reptile licence, so you'll need to track down your local department of Parks and Wildlife Service. Now each different state has a different department. For instance, in Queensland it's called the Environmental Protection Agency. In New South Wales it's the New South Wales Parks and Wildlife Service. Once you've tracked down your local department, ask them what is required before you can keep a snake in your state. If you're just beginning, you'll be limited to the type of snake that you can keep. A python would probably be a good choice, as keeping a venomous snake first up is probably not such a good idea. Whenever I get questioned which is my most favourite snake, I always reply the carpet python. I like the colour pattern for a start off, which is actually perfect camouflage for living in tree canopies. But also, being a carpet python, they're very gentle by nature and do make excellent pets. This is Bonnie. She's been with me for many years, and for anyone that's watched one of my snake shows, you probably recognise her. At the moment, she's just over 2 metres long, but eventually she may even grow to be 4 metres in length. If you're lucky enough to live in certain parts of Australia, you've probably already got a carpet python. It's probably living in your house roof. Now don't worry too much about that though, because I guarantee you haven't got a rat problem. This is one of the smallest pythons we have living in Australia. It grows to be about 1.5 metres long. It's called the spotted python, although a lot of people know it quite commonly by another name. It's called the children's python. Children's pythons aren't bad as far as pets go because they never grow too big to handle. Although at times they can be a little bit snappy. Mind you though, a bite from a tiny snake like this is nothing really worth worrying about anyway. Feeding your snake is quite an easy task because you only need to do that once a week through the summer and even less in the winter. And all you need is some rats and mice. Of course what your snake can eat depends on its size. If it is only a baby, it will mostly only eat baby mice, or pinkies as they're known. As it grows, so will the size of the food. Snakes have the ability to eat food items 5 times bigger than their head. To help them digest their food better though, and avoid some other problems, it is better to give them smaller food items rather than have them struggle to swallow something too big. Most pet shops and specialist breeders can supply you with rats and mice specially bred for snake food. This eliminates the need for you to breed them. These animals are frozen for storage convenience, but freezing also destroys any parasites which they may have. Some people think it is fun to feed live food to snakes. However, there is a real danger your snake will get hurt in the process. Rats and mice have razor sharp teeth which can damage or even kill your snake. One thing here though, don't overfeed your snake because that can lead to severe health risks which normally end in death. Snakes are opportunistic feeders. That means they eat what they can when they can because it may be a long time before the next feed. And unfortunately, with most snakes they'll keep eating as much as what you do give them. Okay, you're going to need a cage to keep your snake in. As with your license, every state has different requirements for cage sizes, so you'll need that information before you construct or buy your cage. If you have it in mind that fish tank you have stored in your garage would make a great snake cage, please think again. Unfortunately, a cage made of all glass to start with is not a good idea, as glass is prone to sweat in some climates, and this may cause health problems in your snake later if it's not set up correctly. My favourite building material for snake cages is a product called melamine. It comes in sheets, or you can have it pre-cut to size. It's fairly easy to work with, and once your cage is constructed, you can then seal off all the corners with a non-toxic sealant. This way, you've got a cage that's very easy to clean and also very hard for pests to live in. If you're already buying a cage, you'll probably find it's made of melamine anyway. Furniture for the cage can consist of clean paper, which is easy to remove and replace, some branches or logs for your python to climb on, a water bowl of course, and a hide box. The hide box can be as easy as an upside down pot plant, and you'll find your snake will spend a lot of time in there. A basking light placed at one end of the cage is also a good idea. So now you're about ready. So where do you get your snake from? Some pet shops in Australia can supply you with the snakes we've talked about. These shops can more than likely supply you with the equipment you require as well. Reptile clubs are another option if there's one in your area. When you obtained your licence, you're more than likely got the information where they are anyway. And joining a reptile club is not a bad idea, because through other members you can learn more about the animal that you want to keep. Well, that should about get you started. And look, no matter what python you do actually choose, it should be with you for a long time, because they can live in excess of 30 years old. And what a great country Australia is anyway. We've got 15 different pythons to choose from.